Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. It's Friday. Nate and Josh here with you guys for 5 games in the NBA, and we're going to be taking a look at some best bets on the sides and totals. Got a few more player props with a slightly smaller slate, and we feel a little bit better here. At least I do anyway about some of these player prop bets. So we'll get into some of those, but make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Coming back to you each and every weekday moving forward this season. So let's get right into it with a game of the contenders here. Just kidding. We got the Mavs minus 4.5, and it's just all about fading Memphis, right?
This has been our cash flow here the last 2 weeks. It's just fade the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, granted, Dallas did also lose to Sacramento last time out. So they aren't just like taking advantage of all these tankers. And granted, they're on the second leg of a back-to-back, but I think the matchup is just really good for Dallas, a team that can't shoot from the outside and is pretty relentless attacking the rim right now. Last 5 since losing flag, third in percentage of paint points, second unassisted field goals. So it's just like, go ahead and go get it. I really like, Brandon Williams and Marvin Bagley for props here. Bagley doesn't have props up yet, but in the back-to-back situation, those guys are going to get a ton of work here. I wouldn't expect Najee Marshall to play after playing 42 minutes last night. I definitely wouldn't expect Chris Middleton to play, though the Mavs did sit Gafford and PJ Washington last night. Listed as ankle management, at least for Gafford. And if he's out there, like the reason we're fading the Grizzlies, just to recap, if you haven't seen it, is because they do not have a center. They've been starting Omax Prosper, who's like 6'7" at center. He's a small forward. And Daniel Gafford would absolutely dwarf this dude. Like he just grab every single offensive rebound and slam it back for as many minutes as he's allowed to play out there. They're allowing the second most second chance points, Memphis, in their last 8. 75% in the restricted area, 59 paint points per game. They even allowed 59 paint points to your Warriors, Josh, who are dead last in paint points on the year. So you could just go right to the rim. And Dallas has been pretty good, managing these back-to-back situations. They're 7-2 ATS on the season, covered 4 straight, because they have this kind of flat, uninspiring but deep rotation, right? It's just like, all right, we'll just rest these guys here. We'll play these guys. Our bench is like kind of as good as our starting lineup at this point. It's like without flag, it's just all kind of flat, but they're all decent. And Memphis right now is just not a serious basketball team whatsoever.
Yeah, it's all it comes down to for me. I mean, the Kings broke their losing streak by playing Memphis. I think we can kind of end the sort of analysis of Memphis's, I don't know what effort. Like it's not even effort. They're just purposefully they're tanking, man. They're just doing it really well. Actually, I would say they're doing it really well. They've managed. I think they've avoided getting fined. So there's no telling what the floor is to their ceiling of tanking, or however you want to look at it. But let me get over to I think what will be a more interesting game, but we don't know if Harden's in yet, and I just think that's everything. I mean, I think this thing flies up by a couple points if Harden's out. This is holding at -6 because that dude's going to be the offense, man. We saw what Donnie was to this team throughout the season when Darius Garland was out, which was almost all the time. When Mobley missed games, when anybody missed games, it was like the Donnie show. It was kind of always the Donnie show, but he really had to step up with the usage when everybody else was out. And we know what this team is without Donovan Mitchell and that 2-point loss they had to Milwaukee the other night. I don't trust Cleveland in general. And I've said this multiple times. Look, they do have the guns to hang with Duran. So I'll stay away from my diatribe about their one-on-one defense and why I kind of also like Cade to get 24.5 points today, because who's his matchup? It's always going to be that is it Jalen Tyson? Are you going to play him more than 25 minutes? Like, who is the matchup here for Cade? I'll leave it at that for now. They're going to have to end up doubling him, which is what they do. They are third limiting pick and roll ball handler. They're bottom 12 or so limiting pick and roll man. So the man's who's rolling to the rim is the one that usually gets a little bit less of the attention. Yes, Jarrett Allen does play a little bit of that drop D, but man, like Cade's going to get in there and kind of own, I would imagine. So I'm going to go with Duran on the PR because I think he's taking that next step, and we'll see what happens when Beef Stew comes back, but it ain't in this game. And that's a big part of that to me is Beef Stew been out for 5 games this season that Duran has played in. In those 5 games, Nate, 38 points and rebounds combined per game in 6 more minutes, 33 minutes a night without Stewart out there. And with Stu, he's looking at about 27 minutes per night. My man has not had more than 3 personal fouls, I believe, in more than 1 game in the last 10 games. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Cat. It's possible to be able to be good at defense after 2 seasons of fouling 5 times a game. Duran's playing minutes because he's out there. So I'm going to keep him on this hot streak here in a tougher matchup than maybe he's faced in some of the more recent games. But, man, this dude's usage and volume stats are super high right now.
Shocker to me that Duran, the most built dude in the NBA, is able to keep his hands back and not then happy hands Karl-Anthony Towns and all the fruity stuff he's throwing out there. But yeah, no, there's a bunch of ways to play this in terms of like whether you think Harden's going to sit. The Cavs are probably just punting this game if he does, like without Harden and Mitchell. Then it's just like alt line time with Duran. To get like 20 PR, probably you can just go double in the money line and you're even money. But yeah, I like it as an SGP angle. It's just like Detroit gonna control things down low. Also like Tobias Harris under here and Ausar Thompson under. Just like it's not gonna be an easy game for guys who can't shoot to get to the rim here against the Cavs with all those trees. Interesting one here. I mean, the total actually moving down on this, and I don't really understand it. I guess it's because your Knicks have been kind of like shut down recently in 3 of 5. Well, they've played at Detroit, Boston, and Cleveland lately. Teams that are just absolutely up to play the Knicks and to shut them down. This Bucks defense ain't it. I mean, like we've known for a while the Bucks are bad on defense and very, very predictable. Second worst against the pick and roll. And Jalen Brunson has absolutely roasted them. 39 points per game with a 141 offensive rating in 3 games since Doc Rivers took over as coach. So he's just like, thank you. I will take that. And I mean, they're also really lucky lately in terms of the new look Bucks in their last 5, third in offense, which I'll get to in a minute, but 20th in defense and been lucky on the threes. Opponents are shooting the 6th worst percentage despite getting the 5th most wide open threes. They're shooting 19% on open threes, opponents. That is 30th in the NBA by at least 4%. So teams just missing shots against Milwaukee. That's not going to continue that often. Knicks and company are shooting very well at times here. And on the other side, yeah, I mean, this offense is not a fluke. Like, they're an offensive team now. It's Kevin Porter Jr., Rollins cooking. You got Cam Thomas keeping it going off the bench. You got good spread out shooters against a Knicks defense that's been very inconsistent in terms of guarding the 3-point line. And you got Milwaukee at home where they play with pride and they play with a little more pace. So I definitely think they can keep pace in the scoring department, and the Knicks could put up a 120 on their own here.
Yeah. I was definitely looking at some overs in this. I thought it was pretty low comparatively to what it should be. Bucks playing a little bit slowly, probably helping keep that down. But yeah, Bucks have looked a lot better as of late. I mean, KPJ is cooking, man. So let me get back to that Denver OKC. Actually, this is the first time we're talking about it. My bad. This is a bet I have from that one. We haven't talked about this game much yet. I'm scared to go on either side of this bet with SGA coming back. I just think there's a lot of unknowns. It's really Murray also questionable. It's like, I don't know how to get there right now with Denver. If Murray doesn't play, I don't give them a shot. I mean, any team that has Jokic on the floor is probably a top 10 offense, regardless of who's out there. I just don't think that's going to cut the mustard here against the Thunder in OKC. But with Wiggins, like I think we're just keeping this down a bit because SGA is back, but we still have no Caruso. Well, probably no Caruso. We still have no AJ Mitchell and no J-Dub. That's the key here is the 2 secondary scorers for this squad aren't in. And this is, I mean, I like Isaiah Joe as a scorer. I think he's got skills too. I think probably close to equivalent with Aaron Wiggins. His stuff's much higher as he's been getting a bunch more minutes. And I think he's still like Aaron Wiggins should still be in line for about 24. And there's a world where they need his offense and he plays closer to 28 or so in this game. So I still like 9.5 points. But when he's playing in these games without J-Dub and without AJ Mitchell, he's got 12 of them this season and he's averaging 12.5 a game in those circumstances. So I still think look, Denver's defense is 25th in the league in the last 32 games where they're 16-16 in those last 32. Like, Jokic is doing everything. Murray is contributing on offense. End of list, to be honest with you, of people that are really truly contributing. And on defense, like we talked about it a million times, it's going to be the most exhausted storyline probably in the NBA moving forward is how healthy is Aaron Gordon, how healthy is Payton Watson? Because you're talking about a team that goes from can't win a title, might not be able to make it out of the second round of a playoff series, to a team that can not easily, but they have a legitimate shot at winning the finals when they have one, if not, I mean, both of those guys, but at least Aaron Gordon, man, they cannot do it without him. So I'm still not going to necessarily buy into their ability to hang with this squad in those situations. I think Aaron Gordon being out is bad for any team, but in this one, especially if J-Dub is playing, if we get to full health, like you got to have him, man. And in this one, I think Aaron Wiggins is still going to be in there for the minutes. He'll be in there for the offense that they need. It's not about defense as much with OKC when they're going to have to put points together to hang with Denver. Yeah,
it's a sharp look. I think both him and Isaiah Joe can continue to contribute here with the other guys out. I think Caruso's off the injury report and he'll go. But I mean, yeah, not a high usage player in this spot where it's just so easy to pick off shots against Denver. They just don't guard the wings or the corner three. And yeah, they're going to be probably missing some guys as well. But I got to get back to this Dallas game, man. I got to bet more on these Mavs. Brandon Williams, Marvin Bagley. Like I said, I think they're just going to be roasting this Memphis defense that has absolutely no interest in defending the rim. And you look at just the drive data. Brandon Williams is right behind Najee, 10.5 drives per game in the last 3. Najee's at 12.5. Najee would absolutely crush in this, but again, he played 42 minutes last night. Don't think he's going to go. And that leaves all this usage for Brandon Williams, who's shooting 75% on his drives and 70% on his pull-ups in his last 3. And most importantly, has had a big spike in playing time, even with Tyus Jones available. Like, he went under in the first game after the All-Star break, split it kind of evenly with Tyus Jones in terms of the minutes. Since then, Tyus down to 11 minutes per game is a -7. Brandon Williams up to 26 minutes per game and is plus 27 and is looking really good. I mean, one of these guys who's just like hungry to get that contract, right? I mean, so it's like teams are tanking, guys are not tanking. Guys are absolutely playing their hearts out to get spots. He actually leads the Mavs in time of possession and dribbles on the ball here in the last 3, as they're more than happy to play through him. And yeah, it has a very high assist rate when he's out there with guys like Bagley. Memphis is just so terrible guarding the rim that I think he'll have a lot of success just attacking.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know what to do with Dallas. I've not been paying attention to them as much, but I know Brandon Williams is out there. Then he is getting a bit more minutes than guys like Ryan Nembhard and company. So I mean, I've always loved Brandon Williams since last season. I was like, when he came in, I believe it was in like the playoffs or something. Whenever he came in at the end of the season and was just getting big minutes for them, I was like, I just don't get when the eye test shows you that a guy can play, why he doesn't just end up getting more minutes. And there's always something I don't know. But in that situation, I still like it. Easy opponent. And to talk about easy opponents, this is a little bit of a sneaky look, and I hope it doesn't become too popular. But Payton Pritchard dimes up when the other team is very bad, and this team is expected to win by a lot. If you look at the games where they've won by at least 15 points this season, he's averaging 7.3 assists in those situations. Pulled this one out the other day when they played, I forget who they waxed. It might have been Chicago, where they, right before the break, they smacked him. He ended up with 7 assists in that game on about 12, 13 potentials, and it played out exactly as I thought it would, which is Jalen Brown and Derek White average about 5.5 minutes fewer per game when they both play in games that this team wins by 15 plus points. Payton Pritchard does not lose those kind of minutes, and he is coming off the bench now to just reinforce that he is the garbage time floor general. As such, I don't think he's going to feel the need. I don't even know who's a backup for Brooklyn I could use as an example. Tyrese Martin. Nolan Traore is starting, so I don't even know who to go for the backups for Brooklyn anymore. But Payton Pritchard's going to be playing against that guy who was recently in the G League. I don't know his name right now, but he'll be on the floor, and Payton Pritchard will be taking him to school. I don't think he'll be looking to get those threes up. I know that this is how it's just a sort of mental difference, right? It's a sort of shift in how he plays, which is off-ball scorer who drives and either goes up and kicks, or guy who's got the ball in his hands the whole time, and then is just like, here you go, Hugo, here you go, Baylor. But Baylor Shireman might not even be out there in this level of blowout. So you get my point here, is that like at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, before he comes out because they're up by 25, he'll probably be getting a couple more dimes to help us get to 6.
Yeah, I don't mind adding the rebounds here. You'd think I'd say like the points because he could explode, but I mean, Brooklyn's just gonna miss so many shots. Like they're probably gonna score like 73 points here in Boston, right? They're gonna sit MPJ on the second leg of the back-to-back. Offense is just gonna be so abysmal that I think, yeah, I think Celtics run away with it. Last look for me is Nuggets. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of guys on the injury report. Most importantly, Jamal Murray. But either way, I think Cam Johnson is just going to be called upon to make plays. That's the way OKC defends, and that's what the Nuggets need. It's like this third playmaker right now. That's all they got with Watson and Gordon out. Strother also probable, but Pickett and Spencer Jones questionable. So just thin on the wing here. And Cam, I mean, despite shooting 25% on catch and shoot since the All-Star break, worst on the team, still struggling. He's still scoring 13 a game. He's still tied with Murray for the second most touches in the front court, still playing 34 minutes a game and playing well defensively. He's a plus 26. So Denver is totally justified for playing him heavy rotation here. He in this spot against OKC, who allows the most corner threes in the league because they just pinch down. He's implied minus 170 to hit at least 2, despite his struggles lately. He scored 16 on 7.5 attempts from deep, 40% shooting against OKC in his last 5, the last few seasons. So it's just a spot where I think Jokic is going to draw all the attention, and then Cam Johnson's just going to have to make plays out of the corner.
Yeah, I've been on the fade train for him, but I mean, I definitely would be fading RA or some form of including rebounds and assists for him. I think points are the thing that like kind of hang around value. I mean, if Jamal Murray's out, I do like it a bit more, but I just don't know how long they hang without him. So it's almost like 6 or 1/2 dozen the other. It's kind of the same deal, but there's not that many guys available right now. We might not even have like Spencer Jones. Don't know if a bunch of these guys are going to be available. But Pickett being out, obviously, as well would be just even more usage for Cam J, who's slotted in there for mid-30s in the minutes at this point. So you can at least bank on some of that stuff. So that is all the time we have for you in this one, though. Hope you guys enjoy Friday night basketball here with the 5 games we've got. We'll be back here on Monday with plenty of player props. Got the best bets coming for you as well. So until we see you next, happy betting.